Every time I turn the camera on, I feel like I completely freeze. Once you make it past the introductory video, you've got a YouTube channel. So, hi guys, I am Dominique Richard. I am a photographer in Lafayette, Louisiana. So basically what this channel is to basically just talk about what I do, my photography, maybe a little bit of just like my day-to-day stuff, probably a little bit of stuff about traveling. And maybe I'll bring in my husband into some of our videos because we love to travel together. If there's anything that you guys would specifically like to see, feel free to comment below. Just any kind of videos you'd like to see me do in the future. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started with the questions that I have. Question number 1. When did I start doing photography? So I started doing photography about 5 years ago. When I was 18, I got a Canon Rebel series camera for my birthday from my grandparents. And at the time, I had not really used a camera at all. I used my grandmother's every once in a while, and she had a DSLR, but it was crop sensor. One of my friends had asked me to take her senior pictures. Like, oh, this is really cool. This is really fun. This is something that I could do as a hobby. And so I was like, oh, why not get a camera? And so that happened. And I remember, actually really specifically, there's this post that I made on Facebook, which I laugh at every time, because it was when I had edited my friend's senior pictures. I wrote, I could never imagine myself doing this as a career, just because I was like, oh man, this is a lot more work than people say it is. So I basically just started off with senior pictures for friends, not charging or anything like that. I just did it for fun. I never thought about doing it for money or anything like that. I never thought about making it a career. I just always thought it would be something that I would kind of do on the side and just do to enjoy for myself. And then a couple of people had offered to pay me, and it wasn't much. So it kind of like clicked in my mind, like, hey, you can still do what you love and make money doing it. Like, that's the dream job. And then it kind of clicked in my head. It was like, this is my dream job. This is what I want to do. Like, I can get paid and have fun. That's a dream. 5 years ago, started off with my Canon T3, upgraded to a T3i because I thought that was a smart decision, but it really wasn't that big of a difference. And then the next camera that I invested in was the 5D Mark III, which is what I still shoot with right now. And then I have a couple of lenses that I vary from. So let's move on to the next question. What is my favorite kind of photography and why? Hands down, without a doubt, fashion photography. I love shooting fashion. I love creating concepts for editorials, all that kind of stuff. It's just a way for me to express my creativity. So I've always loved fashion because it's always relevant, whether fashion changes in the world, what's iconic, what's not, there's always going to be something. So there's always going to be something to photograph, and it's always going to be new and changing. It always keeps you on your toes. You always have something new to work with. But I also love fashion photography because it's something that I had never really seen in Lafayette. I remember specifically watching America's Next Top Model and thinking, like, that's super cool. Like, so I just started shooting friends and just shooting their outfits and what they wear and all that kind of stuff. And then I started doing even weirder things, like going to Goodwill and buying sheets and using them as backdrops, and buying the weird clothes that people wouldn't normally buy. So just kind of like mixing it up. That's when I really started experimenting with like color palettes and stuff like that. And then from there I started making mood boards. So it's just, with fashion, it's this whole big creative ball of awesomeness. So I really enjoy it. So my next question is, what inspires you? The biggest thing that inspires me is music, which is really cool because my husband is a musician. So I can be sitting in the office and editing photos, or even just like looking for inspiration on Pinterest. But then also, like, it's really cool that I can listen to his music and be like, oh man, this made me think of this. Let me go on Pinterest and see if I can find something that's similar to that. So I'm actually sitting at my desk right now, and his is right next to me right here off camera. So it's really cool. We get to sit here and just kind of throw ideas at each other. Like, I can be editing right here for 5 minutes and then turn around and be like, hey, what do you think about this? Blah, blah, blah. And then like vice versa, which is really cool. Just other music in general, I'll kind of just like throw together a Spotify playlist, or music video. Even music videos is a huge inspiration for me too. Just like the whole music world in general is just kind of like this huge inspiration ball for me. Okay, so how do I find the perfect setting? First, I'm gonna say I don't really believe that the perfect setting exists. However, I think that's what's the really cool part about photography, is because the perfect setting doesn't exist, that means you have to really go out and look for something. Whenever I'm looking for locations, I'm usually just like riding my bike, or I'm driving. Obviously I'm paying attention to the road, but just, you know, like if I look over, I'm like, oh man, that's a really cool spot. What can I do with that? And it's like mood board, all this stuff, outfits, hair, makeup, model, all this. So it's just like, that's how my brain works. I'll see this like one little location, and I'll make a mood board from it. But usually location is like the first thing that I choose for photos, which is really cool because then the ball just gets rolling and I just get really creative with what I can do with that spot. So that's really exciting. What's my favorite part about photography? Planning. So it kind of like goes hand in hand with like, how do I find my perfect setting? That's usually like my favorite part of photography, and just like planning everything out. It's making the mood boards, getting people together, and all that kind of stuff. I do love the rewarding feeling of finishing a session and being like, oh, this is golden, this is perfect, it came out exactly how I envisioned. So I'd actually say it's probably like a 50-50 between both. I love when a shoot just comes out exactly like I envisioned it. My last question that I have is, where did I learn what I know about photography? And this one's a real easy one, guys. I learned everything that I know from YouTube. Everything. When I first started doing photography, I was like a sponge. I sat on YouTube and I just watched a bajillion YouTube videos. I watched so many YouTube videos just because I wanted to learn so much about photography. And like the cool part about it is like, it's still like that for me. Like 5 years into it, it's like, whoa, you can know, like you can do this with photography. So my camera actually died. Hashtag unprepared to make a vlog. Duly noted, Dominique. But I also realized that I kept cutting my chin out in the video. So hopefully I set the camera up better this time. Anyways, so back to what I was talking about. There is always stuff to learn. And the stuff that you can learn is so easily accessible with the technology that we have nowadays. It's so cool that I can just type a couple of words on YouTube and it's like, bam, everything you want to know about photography. And that's how I learned everything. I'm always just like incredibly amazed with the things that I don't know, because I basically just make up what I do as I go. Just because I never really learned from one person specifically, I learned from 5 million bajillion people on YouTube, and just kind of mixed them all up and made them my own. So it's really cool. It's really cool to see where I've gotten and where I'm going. But basically that's all the questions that I had for today. If there's anything, like I said before, that you'd like to see, any questions that you have, feel free to comment here, comment on my Instagram. I'll have all of those listed in the information below. My Instagram, my Facebook, website, all that kind of stuff. If you made it this far into the video and you didn't get bored or fall asleep, thank you for listening. I probably will be the only person to watch these videos. Seriously, thank you guys for listening, for subscribing, and I will see you guys later.